So I heard you were interested in learning some yoga. I'm here to show you a posture today and break it down for you. It's a very familiar posture that even if you've never done yoga, you might have seen this around, but it's a really great one to start with. So here is child's pose for today. It's also known in Sanskrit as Balasana. And it's really great for lengthening out the spine, for opening up the hips, for opening up the chest, and overall relaxation and releasing tension in your pelvis, as well as getting a slight bit of inversion therapy, which is basically just putting your head below your heart, allowing yourself to kind of flip yourself a little bit more upside down, because we're always humans walking right side up, right? So if you aren't quite ready to go all the way upside down in a headstand or hanging upside down in an inversion table, something like this is a really great start, just to start to bring that blood flow up into your head and neck, as well as, again, opening up into the hips for those that sit at a desk all day, or for anyone who just needs some relaxing time. This can only take a minute of your time before bed or even in the morning when you wake up. So I'll offer some modifications as well, because this shape can look very different for a lot of different people and a lot of different body shapes and body types out there, and places that people are different places in their practice. So just see what works for you. So coming onto the floor or to your yoga mat, you can start in a tabletop in all fours. From here, you're going to take your knees out a little wider and then bring the toes to touch, and just start to sit the hips back towards the heels. Right off the bat, if you notice that this is a little too much into the hips, bring the knees closer, right? You can even start by bringing the knees all the way together and just start to walk the hands out from here. This is called a half child's pose. This is a great modification. But if you notice that there is some space in the hips, scooch those knees out a little wider, and then just allow your chest to start to drop down towards the floor as your head relaxes down and the hands reach out long in front of you. So you're starting to settle into this shape, and it may look like here one day, this may be the goal, to really start to allow the chest to relax down to the floor, the head to settle onto the floor, the fingertips to lengthen towards the top of the mat, and the hips to sit back towards the heels. The chest might even start to fall between those thighs. But this is not going to happen right off the bat if you're just starting out. So know that there's places that you can start and will need to start to get to here, right? You always have to start somewhere, and it's not going to happen overnight. So if this version is just not happening for you today, then don't worry. Walk yourself on up. If you feel like there's not enough space to allow your chest to drop to the floor, take a block. Take a blanket, a pillow, something there that you can place and fold up and get some cushion to then allow your chest to relax on top of that, right? So it allows the floor to come a little closer to you. And then you can allow the hands to come back out. Or, again, we can utilize that underneath the chest. If you have blocks or even books at home, you can put blocks underneath your hands. And again, bring that floor a little bit up to meet those hands and meet that chest if you feel like it's too much to let the chest and hands come to the floor. But you want to be able to relax into this posture, letting the hips sit back towards the heels as you let the head and chest relax down, right? So find a modification where you can feel comfortable relaxing into that. Maybe this is still too much. That's okay. You just walk yourself on up. And there can be the option of, again, bringing those knees a little closer together and allowing the hands, chest to just relax down. Maybe, again, you take a block or a blanket underneath the head, and maybe the arms relax long down beside you instead of long out in front of you, right? So there's so many different ways to play here. And just know that you can be here one day, you could be here the other day, you could be back here the next day. It's all a practice. The other option I will offer, one final little tip for if you feel like you need something underneath the hips, taking a blanket or a block, placing that underneath the hips as you settle down, that might create that extra comfort for you to sit your hips back. And again, bring those heels, that space, kind of fill in that gap a little bit so you don't have to feel like you're reaching so much out of your comfort zone for where your body is today, because everyone is going to be different in their practice. And when you see an instructor do something, you immediately think that that is what you have to replicate. Whereas in yoga, that is not the case. In Western society, and exercising in this form of striving to find that perfect posture or that perfect form in our society, yes, that pressure is there. But just know that when you step into a class with me, that you are not going to be forced to get into any shape that your body is not ready to. I'm always there to offer you modifications and help you find a position, a shape that's going to work for your body and where you're at today. So always feel free to ask questions if you have any questions of specific postures that you're like, I just have never felt really comfortable in this posture, or if you feel like you're not feeling enough of a stretch in a posture. I was just talking to a student yesterday about her pigeon pose and how you can adjust that if you feel like you've done it so much that now you're like, I'm not feeling the stretch. Okay, well, it probably means that you just need to make a minor adjustment in your alignment to maybe go a little bit further in that shape if your body allows, but you're able to settle it back into that stretch, right? Back into that kind of practice of being curious about where your body is. And again, challenging your body, but in an intentional way. So let me know if there's any other postures that you just right up front want to know about. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue to share these postures and break them down for you so that you can start to get into your yoga practice and understand it more deeply in an intentional way, right? In a connection of what is right for your body, so that when you step into a group practice, you don't have to feel forced to get into any of these shapes, and you can really hone into that mind-body connection of your own body and what works best for you, because that's how you're going to be most successful in not injuring yourself and also having fun along the way and exploring what your body is capable of. It's really empowering. So let me know how you liked your child's pose breakdown for today, and I look forward to sharing more of these posture breakdowns for you.